Today in our whiteboard leadership moment, we're going to talk about ministry and how to make sure that we've got a full span of ministry for the people who come to our church. What I've written up here are the 5 types of people that come to our churches. There are people who don't know Jesus. We'll call them lost. There are those who are brand new to Christ. We'll call them converts. There are disciples. Disciples are the people that have learned to feed themselves. They can open the Word for themselves. They can pray. They can confess their sin. They can walk with God on their own. And then there are workers, those who have gone beyond their own life into the lives of others and started investing in them. And then finally are leaders. Leaders are those who can reproduce converts, disciples, and workers in ministry. And for each one of these, we're going to make a move from lost to convert, convert to disciple, disciple to worker, worker to leader. And we're going to give a name to each one of these processes. For the people who are lost but are converted, we're going to just use the word, win. We're going to win them to Christ. Convert to disciple, we're going to build them in their faith. Disciple to worker, we're going to equip them to serve. And worker to leader, we're going to multiply the ministry by raising up new leaders. Win, build, equip, and multiply. These are the 5 types of people. These are the 4 tactics that we use in ministry. Now, in a lot of churches, what I try to do is try to create this explanation of how many of these should we have. And so the best example is actually this picture of a triangle, where the triangle represents really, in a healthy church, this is what it's going to look like. That not necessarily attending the church, but in the relationships of the church, there are a lot of people who don't know Jesus and may not be attending. Those are the lost. And then beyond that, there are many people who have come to Christ. We're going to call them converts. There are those who can feed themselves and are spiritually strong, disciples, and then there are workers and leaders. A typical healthy church will have this kind of picture, a whole lot of people who don't know Jesus, a lot of people who are new in their faith, many disciples, number of workers, and several really, really good leaders. And unfortunately, most churches I know don't look like this. Some of them look like a Christmas tree, and they don't have many lost or converts, and so they really kind of look like this. Christmas tree is a dangerous place to be in as a church because this is the door for growth. This is the door for discipleship. So we want to make sure that you're reaching out, you're winning people to Christ and building them in their faith. Other churches I know don't look like a Christmas tree. They look much more spiritual. They look more like this, where they have a whole lot of disciples. And even though this looks very spiritual to have a cross, it's really not healthy because this church typically is very knowledge-based, but they don't develop leaders and workers for the harvest field, and they don't really reach people. This church is not a healthy church. You really want some church that has a lot of people who are coming to know Jesus, a lot of people who are growing in their faith, a lot of people who are being equipped to serve and being sent back out. One of the activities I ask churches to do is to figure out in their ministries what they're strong at and what they're not. This is an evaluation process we're talking about today. So just imagine if you will, a ladder. And we've got the two sides of the ladder, and then on the ladder we've got these rungs that represent the 4 tactics that we're using in the church. We're winning people to Christ, we're building them in their faith, we're equipping them to serve, we're multiplying leadership. What I'd love you to do with this exercise is to have a conversation among your leadership. Where are we strong in the rungs of the ladder, and where might we be missing rungs? In our own ministry, what we found years ago was that we were missing this lower rung. And I don't know if you've ever missed a rung in the ladder, but it's really hard for people to get onto a ladder when the lower rung is missing. And so we began to really work on programs and opportunities to help people discover the gospel and respond to Jesus, and we filled in that rung. Later on in our ministry, we realized we were missing the leadership rung. We weren't developing new leaders. As a result, the ministry was confined. It was plateauing because you need a lot of leaders to expand in ministry. This is a great exercise for you and your leadership to have. Where are the rungs missing in our congregation? This has been a Converge Whiteboard Leadership Moment. To learn more about Converge or to join us, check out converge.org.